I had some rather deep thoughts during the process of cleaning an elderly woman's house who had Fox News blaring in one room. And that's what I want to talk about today. Hello, friends. I am beginning to think that when Jesus said that we would be hated by the world as Christians, it's not supposed to be this martyrdom type mindset. It's more supposed to be a warning of all of the people who claim to follow Jesus and then are angered when a lot of people around us hate what we think. And this isn't me saying the classic evangelical Christian type of argument here, because I grew up with that argument and I think it is incomplete. I don't think it's trash. I don't think it's completely wrong. I think it's incomplete. When I scroll through Twitter, for example, I see people on the right, the conservatives, being very upset with those who are unwilling to be hardcore conservative, who rest more in the middle because they see the lack of control and the lack of moderation, for lack of a better term. And then on the other side, the far left has the same reaction. And this morning, I was reading tweets from a person, and this is not the first time I've seen this, who was pretty liberal and was saying that the most dangerous people in American politics are those who are in the middle because they can't commit to anything and nothing gets done, which is valid. It's valid from one point of view and from the other point of view. It's very valid that people in the middle are not committing to anything. I do think it's a little bit hypocritical because it assumes that whatever side you're on is the only completely correct side. And I think that's pretty arrogant and pretty flawed. What I am educated on is living as a follower of Jesus in the 21st century in the United States. Because that's what I've been doing pretty much my entire life. Definitely all of my adult life I've been thinking about this topic off and on because it's unavoidable. When Jesus warns his followers, us, that they will be hated by the world, I think that is pretty applicable to people who follow Jesus and land in the middle, politically. This isn't me saying that conservatives and liberals are wrong, or that they can't be Christians, or that they are being disobedient to Jesus by not following exactly what moderate Christians happen to think. I think that is also a pretty flawed argument. I will say that perhaps some of the reasons why Christian moderates, not all moderates, but Christian moderates who mean well and want to come to a place of reconciliation with those they disagree with, and that's why they lean more towards the center, those people in particular can't really win with anybody, mostly because as soon as you claim to see some flaws in a very passionate person's argument, they're probably going to hate you, or at least be upset with you. And while people in the center, I am one, tend to get a bad rap, and maybe deserve it sometimes, I do think there is validity to having a moderate view on things, because one of the biggest things I have learned as a follower of Jesus is that nothing is as extreme as people paint it to be. because there's grace and there's compassion and there's love. There's mercy. There's forgiveness. All of these core elements of my faith that I am commanded to live out every single day are completely contradicted by the conservative belief that anyone who has had an abortion or is anything other than heterosexual or has claimed a different gender are automatically bad and should be shunned, should be treated differently than other human beings because of decisions that they've made or because of lifestyle choices or because of the way they view themselves. People on the left, the liberals, who claim that all of the people who make racist statements live in a way that is bigoted or racist, intolerant of other people's lifestyles or life choices or beliefs, that they also should be the lepers of this community, that no one should be accepting them until they change their mind. And even then there will not be forgiveness because they have done the unforgivable thing, that is speak their mind in a way that is hurtful and cutting to other individuals or people groups. When I look at the conservatives and the liberals and I see the lack of compassion, the lack of mercy, the lack of love and forgiveness and grace, I am disgusted. I am uncomfortable with claiming to have the same faith as any of those people. I am unwilling to claim an affiliation to a political party that claims those statements are true. Because in the end, if I am going to claim that I love Jesus, that I want to follow his commands and live as he lived, I cannot make such a stance so strongly as to say, you don't belong. You don't belong. You can't be forgiven. You can't be forgiven. And as long as conservatives and liberals make those statements, I cannot claim to think like them, because it would be hypocritical and sinful of me as someone who loves Jesus to completely align myself with unforgiving, unmerciful, unloving people. And again, that doesn't mean that my point of view is right. Doesn't mean that at all. It just means that I have found more people in the center, not all of them, but more of them in the center, to be those who are willing to show compassion and mercy and love. And if that means that a good majority of the people who I do agree with aren't gonna like me when they hear that belief, well, looks like I wasn't supposed to be affiliated with them in the first place. It's a complicated issue, and I understand that. But right now, that's where I'm landing, and I don't see it changing in the near future unless people start to radically change the way they think of other people and talk about other people and treat other people.